Did you know that you can grow highly nutritious greens in your home in just a couple of weeks? I certainly didn't, but Calvin does, and he's here to tell us more. Hey, Calvin.
Hi, how are you today?
I am great, and I'm very excited about all of this.
Yes, so these are microgreens. They are a great way to be able to grow plants within your home when you don't have any space, whether to do it outside or if you want to grow something that's just highly nutritious that you can eat.
So why is it a microgreen?
So it's called a microgreen because we basically take normal seeds to normal plants like broccoli or radishes, or in this case, mustard greens as well. And we sprinkle them at a much higher rate that you would normally plant them.
Okay.
And they grow up just to a little sprout, so they're micro-sized.
Aha.
Yeah, so they get to this really small state, and once they're only about 2 weeks old, then we cut them and harvest them and we eat them like that. So they normally get to about a height of 2 inches.
So that's where all your intense nutrients from those plants are, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the nutrients, think about how much nutrients are in a plant of broccoli. It's much bigger, it's got a head, but in this case, it's a much smaller plant size. So the nutrients are all caught up in one of these tiny little sprouts, and they look about this big, but in that sprout is a lot more dense. And so you get these sprouts that once you cut them and eat them, the nutrient density per weight is actually a lot higher than what you'd be eating if you're eating broccoli on a much larger scale. Not saying that broccoli on a much larger scale isn't bad. But
I was just gonna say, like if you let it grow, then you've got the broccoli, you've got the fiber, you've got it's a big vegetable. But this way you can. What do people use them in? Soups, smoothies?
Yeah, you name it. The soups and smoothies are a great way to do it. One of my favorites is that when I get a really large harvest, I like to cut them down and then blend them up with a little bit of water after washing them. And then I put them in ice cube trays, freeze them, and then I add them to my smoothies. And it's a great addition to smoothies. Sometimes they can be a little strong, so I use all different types of stuff to cover it up, but it really does. It delivers a lot more nutrients to my smoothies.
I was gonna ask about that because people usually they'll throw kale in, and then kale, if you don't put like lemon juice or something with it, it's like
yes,
it's a little too strong.
Yeah. So yeah, they're a great addition to smoothies, and also if you're somebody who's gardening on a scale that's just much smaller, or you just didn't have the space at all in your backyard, you can create trays of these next to a south-facing window or window that gets a lot of light.
Okay, so they do need a lot of light.
Yes, they do need a lot of light to some extent to begin to form this green level, but they don't take a whole lot, much less than you would if you were growing a normal head of broccoli or radishes. And so as you grow them up, you can actually grow up whole trays of them and harvest them and use them like a salad as well. There's some people who just eat microgreen salads, and they're extremely nutritious, and they add into a good salad mix. So there's really a lot you can do with them on such a small level of space. And at our office, we grow them under grow lights when we don't have space. So we can grow rows and rows of these.
So it's a perfect countertop garden, basically.
Yes, it is a perfect countertop garden for the person who wants to have great vitamins and nutrients in their diet.
How do we do it? How do we get started?
Okay, so it's really simple. You ready here? Okay,
I don't know.
You're gonna take a pot and you're gonna fill it with potting soil.
Okay.
All right. And then you're going to take that pot full of potting soil. You're going to get a thing of seeds, either from your local seed store. Now, great seeds to start out with here will be part of your cruciferous family. Now, that's the part of vegetables that our broccolis, radishes, our mustard greens, our collard greens come from.
Okay.
All of those are beets. These are all great vegetables to start out with for microgreens. So in this case, I have some radish seeds. And I just grab a little handful of them and I just sprinkle them over the top. And you know what? You can get as heavy-handed or lightly as you want to put them in there. They're going to grow out in whatever density that you sow these seeds in.
So I did this with carrots before, and that was bad because there wasn't enough room for the carrots to grow.
Yes.
So this I can do.
Yes, it is very user-friendly. You can throw as many seeds on as you want to. If you feel like you don't have enough, go ahead and just throw them down. They'll eventually sprout up and you can get what's there.
How often do you have to water them and things like that?
So there's two different methods of watering that work really well. So sometimes you can come over the top and you can water them with like a little mist, and you can spray them with a mister, or maybe just run them under the water in your sink lightly. Yes, and get the soil wet. Once you do that, a really effective way that we use at our office is we find a plastic tub that is lower than the height of whatever we're growing in. We fill it with water and we set them in water.
Smart.
And the water soaks up into the soil like a sponge, and it grows just long enough for them to be able to germinate and grow to the height that they need to. But it doesn't cause anything with like fungus. It's not too long. You're not sitting with sitting water. So
This is fantastic. Thank you, Calvin.
Yeah, no problem.
I learned a lot about microgreens, and I'm actually very excited to take what I've learned today home and start my own microgreen garden on my countertop because I have enough room for that.